This is the talk of the day. And before we do our talk, I'd like to introduce a small little brasklapp. We might be presenting some truths here, but everything we say is very easy when you have a very good team that's fully aligned and that's just open to doing these things.
And just one comment here. I just heard that our title on the speech won the prize as the longest title ever at Knowabunga. So that's something, right?
Sure. And who are we? I'm David. I'm a tech lead in the sort of empowered product team sense. I've been building stuff for the web since the 90s. I started off as a designer, creating designs in Photoshop and then implement them on the web. Later on, as the web matured, I moved further and further into the back end and the whole cloud architecture type of things, and that's what I do today. Most of my previous work have been greenfield projects or big bang rewrites of legacy software. So I'm usually there when an idea is made, and then I'm there through the whole journey until we start selling the product. And that's been my previous experience, both at other employers, but also here at 1337.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm Henrik, as you know now, and I've actually been working as a management consultant for the most years in my career, and over time focus more and more on product and digital products. And what I'm really engaged about is building products that the customer loves and that works for the business, which we do here together at 1337. So I don't code, but I contribute with other things in the team and to the clients from the more like product perspective, I would say.
And what we're going to talk about today, so we've divided our talk into 3 little sub-areas. The team, how we work, and accountability. And all these things are pretty important. Let's start with the team.
Yeah. Do you recognize Tuckman's model, this curve? Yes and no, yeah. But if you don't, you have definitely experienced this. Because every high-performing team goes through these phases. It's forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. And when you start your assignment, you build you build up your team. You basically form it. You have lots of like expectations, and you just have focus on the social things, and everything feels quite exciting. But then quite quickly you go into the storming phase, which is tougher when you feel and experience competition and conflict in the team, because you have different experience and come from different backgrounds, basically. And this is a phase that every team goes through before they norm and perform and actually can deliver like really high value. So in that sense, I think it's very important and useful to be aware about this, because if you go into a new assignment and we create like a new and build up a new team, it's a very if you are aware about that you have to go through this phase, I think it's easier for you to actually overcome it and be more open to, okay, now we're storming, that's fine, basically. And then in the end, when you have accomplished your goals, each team actually adjourn. And it could be that you staff down or someone leaves for another assignment and so on. But interesting in this is also if get like a new team colleague into the team, then you go back and you need to experience these phases again. And yeah, the trick is, of course, if you go through the storming phase in a like good way, in that sense that you sort out all conflict, basically, then you have a like better shape to actually start delivering real value.
So how do we build this high-performing teams? We are talking about a high-performance team here. None of these rules apply to a low-performance team because they're not going to perform anything anyway. And a high-performing team needs to be curious. An engaged team is a curious team. The engaged team has an open and agile mindset. They are letting this mindset let them explore any and all solutions that might come up. We are enthusiastic about our findings, and we are not afraid at all to throw away an old solution if the new one is measurably better.
Yeah, and the team should work together as peers. So everything we do it together, and we decide together how we do it, and we collaborate all the time and value each other's input. And this is very important from even day one at the assignment, that you go out as peers, meaning that product, design, and tech works as peers. We touched at this during the morning, but when you start your assignment, you have the first meetings with the business, for instance, at the client. Don't just go product, go all three. So you always have representatives from all three competencies, because you all provide different value into that context, so to say. And with the product managers, like a good understanding of the viability and value of the product. You have the designer that has the desirability and usability perspective, and the technician that has the feasibility perspective, that okay, this is actually achievable. And one thing that is so useful with that is that, okay, you all get to hear the same thing, and then that can be used along the actual delivery of the solutions, instead of having this more waterfall-alike type of approaches where you hand over in between different competencies. And then you don't have to do all of that long documentation as well, and specifications that anyway will have to be updated as you learn more along the way, basically. Respect is very important. I mean, you have to stay humble to your colleagues' ideas and experiences, and you should really listen. And with that, I mean not only listen, but understand. Try to understand why and this person is in your team is trying to argue for something or propose something, because you work with very talented people and they all bring different perspective, which even though you don't go the full way that this person proposes, maybe you can take pieces from each other's ideas and then use form and shape something great together.
And when you have enough respect for each other, you can also allow an enormous amount of passion. It's important to let each and every individual in the team be passionate about the topic at hand. Passionately defending or speaking for a solution is both engaging and enthusiastic, and enthusiasm for problem solving spreads throughout the team. If we let everyone be passionate about their things, everyone else will pick up that passion, and the vibe will continue through the team. And even if the team does not end up going for a solution that I was especially passionate about, maybe items or ideas from that solution will appear in the future in something else that we do later. Fun. Enjoy the ride, etc. Allow fun on a daily basis and maintain always a positive attitude. It might sound like a small or a hard thing, but it's important to not get stuck in any form of negativity. An extra compliment goes a long way to build and foster an atmosphere of fun and comfort and encouragement. We'd like to call it like a professional playfulness. An engaged team having fun will spread to the surrounding teams and to the client. A happy team will often score high on a review card, and it's also very easy to work with people who smile.
So to summarize, when building an engaged team, so stay curious, respect each other, and work together as peers, encourage passion and have fun.
Yeah, how we work. So we talked a little bit of what it's required from the team, and now we're going to talk a little bit on how we work. And this one you're going to like. No process. And it's not a joke. We start on a clean slate. We only add procedures as they are needed when there is a concrete problem that the procedure can solve. We adapt to the context that is constantly changing. When it comes to a process, question the way. Never use a process for the process' sake. Challenge the why and challenge the when. Do not blindly fall into going with like old habits or procedures that might have instilled like a false sense of security or familiarity just because you've used it before. Do not force a process on a team just because or for the sake of the process. In this team, we use Scrum. It has to provide real value and solve real problems that the team is currently facing. Not maybe facing in the future, but currently facing. We'd also like to strongly point out that avoid most versions of waterfall if you can, despite what Erik did say earlier, or snakes hiding in the grass like the safe model. We don't do that. Instead of spending time on specs, handovers, burn downs, etc., collaborate within the team as peers from the very first meeting with your customers or stakeholders to final delivery. Challenge the why. We never build anything unless the entire team knows why we need it or why we should build it. We prototype, we iterate, we ask questions, and we are curious. Nobody will be able to care about an end result if they don't know why it's being done. Even less so will we ever claim any form of ownership or responsibility for the stuff we build if we don't know why we're building it. Product discovery is a critical tool to run in parallel with any form of product delivery. The team needs to make informed decisions, discover and research. We need qualitative and quantitative data, and it's critical if we want to stay data informed and do the correct decisions.
Yeah, and focus. It really helps if you can build a product strategy that also helps the executive management and the client to achieve their business strategy and their business goals, basically. And this product strategy must provide focus to maximum 3 things, even preferable 1 thing, to actually maximize the value of what you are delivering. So if the team focus, you will increase the engagement within the team, and you will also be able to provide a better outcome in the end for the client. And if you do too many things, the team will become slow and unproductive. Yeah. Valuable work, yes. Outcome, as I said, over output or over features. So we care about the value of our work and what it brings to the business, right? And the end user. So this is a change in many cases at our clients and how they actually think, because they believe they know that, okay, we want this output, this feature, just deliver it. So it's really important if you can drive the conversation from the more like classical roadmap with features, with deadlines, which you know already in advance that you will not be able to achieve. If you can drive that conversation with the client towards more output-oriented conversation, focusing on the value that you are delivering. So, for instance, can you find things, KPIs, metrics that you can measure? And if you can measure that, showcase that and show them that, okay, working this way will actually improve the metrics that is what is really matters for you as a sponsor to this project.
another favorite topic, which are deadlines. And hot take, we don't do deadlines. If there is a deadline, the deadline is set by the team or in collaboration with the team. We time box our focus areas, but that's not at all the same thing as setting a deadline. Our work will never, ever be done. So there's very, very seldom a need for any form of deadline. Soft launches, for example, is an incredible safety net to be able to deliver a good product from the get-go. We're aware that sponsors want to know when they get their new super cool digital product, and there needs to be some form of rhyme and reason naturally. A high level of communication is vital during this process. There can, of course, also be dependencies on, for example, legal requirements, customer negotiations, or marketing activities. But out of those I just mentioned, all the legal requirements are actually a real valid deadline. Marketing should come to us and talk to us before there's a marketing campaign, and we will let marketing know when we are ready to go. Deadlines are set always then bottom up rather than top down.
Yeah, so to summarize how we work, we don't have a process. And if we have, we question the way, so we adapt the process and the ways of working to the current circumstances and context. We set the deadlines bottom up, basically, from the team. And we focus on just a few things and make those really good. And we challenge the why, meaning that if there is no why, reason for doing it, we're not doing it. We try to find a why, something more valuable to do. And we focus on value and try to show that through real KPIs and metrics that matters for the business.
Okay, so the third area we're going to talk about is the accountability of the team. And we usually start off with some boundaries. It's important to set boundaries. It's important to enforce your integrity and the team's integrity. We can set expectations of the client just as they can expect things from us. Recognize this one. Know your value. The team consists of a group of professionals who are or will become experts on our product and how to bring value from the product. The team will soon become the domain experts on the users and outpace the current general domain knowledge within the company. Code is worth pretty much nothing. The lessons learned while producing the code is where all the value lies. That being said, stay humble, but be proud, confident in what the team is doing.
Deliver. Deliver, deliver, deliver. To build trust and freedom within your team and for your team, you need to deliver results all the time, basically. And if you do that, you will get the freedom to shape these type of things the way that you feel are the best way forward. So it's really important for us as professionals to all the time actually also provide results that it's worth for the sponsor to keep paying us, because they're paying quite a lot of money to have us at our clients. I talked a bit about the product strategy and aligning with the business. And if there is no business strategy, then it's even better to try to invent one or provoke on something to get some kind of feedback from the business, what is important, to help you steer and guide, okay, what shall we focus on and what shall our product strategy focus on to be able to actually provide results that matters for the business. And it's so important to work with communication, stakeholders communication, basically. So you always keep the key stakeholders in the business informed and listen to their feedback and insights. Because if you do that on a weekly basis, you will be so aligned. So when you come to this meeting and you present your proposal or recommendation, it's much more easier than if you haven't talked to them for 3 weeks and then you present something. It's more like their understanding of what you are doing is very low, if that would happen. And when you do this type of communications, again, we are peers. So bring product, tech, and design into those type of conversations. And yes, it's incredibly important also to build the trust at the client and the trust with the executive management. And here the product manager role plays, I think, a vital role, especially in the beginning of projects, to make sure that the team gets the right environment and preconditions to make a good job. And I think setting up routines and ways of presenting our progress and so on for these people are really important. And if you can manage to work also with the executive management on a weekly basis, you will get the insights and buy-in also from them. But it also helps your sponsor, which is usually the CTO, to build up arguments to motivate the investment in us and to continue to spend money basically from their budget on this digital product, for instance, that we're building. So I think doing that will help the CTO or sponsor to showcase our value, provide arguments for his or her budget and the pretty expensive investments that they have done in us. Yeah, so to summary, how we tackle accountability. So have integrity and know your value, still being humble, and deliver higher value than expected will build trust and freedom at the client, and make sure to align with stakeholders and management, and show a true passion and responsibility and even accountability for the results and what you're delivering and how it's contributing to the client's success.
So, final words. Utilize the talent you have at hand. Use everyone's experience and expertise in your team to their full advantage. Use only the tools that you need to solve a problem. Take responsibility and build a close relationship with the client. And to end off, I would like to thank Tommy. That's it from us.
Okay, thank you so much. This was a really nostalgic talk for me. It really brought me back to my product manager days. Got that passion back. Okay, so we have about 6 minutes for some Q&A for the two of them. I already see some hands raised, so I'm going to go down and hand out the mic.
One of the questions that I had was related to the aspect of not committing to deadlines, and so I think we can probably understand the aspect of when you have strong deliveries and trust being built up, then it aligns both clients and then our side to expect that we're building this at the speed that is reasonable, that's producing the best value. But are there any more, do you have any pragmatic examples of what happens when these kinds of deadlines are going to be implemented for some reason? Do you have ideas on how to minimize any negative effects from that, or how do you deal with those?
Can I start, or do you want to start?
Go for it. Go for it. We're going to say the same thing anyway.
But that's obviously one of the questions the CTO will have, for instance, that buy this project from us. Okay, when can it get done, and what will I get? So what we have tried working together this way, basically, is took the focus from the roadmap, basically, to a theme map and an order of prioritization. Okay, this is based on what we know that will bring most value right now to the business, so basically the KPI and metrics that we have set up in the product strategy. So we need to focus on that. If it takes 2 weeks or 6 weeks, we don't know yet, but we know that focus on this will still continuously provide most value. If along the way we will like learn more, like gain more insights, then we might have to pivot. If we see that, okay, focusing on this anymore, it's not really worth it. We should pivot to focus on that thing instead.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's a way how to handle it and try to like drive the discussion towards like more prioritization and themes rather than a roadmap with deadlines.
Yes, thank you for a great talk. I was wondering how you approach a project that is often like a fixed budget project before you have the buy-in and trust from the company. Because I guess that would be tougher not to have like fixed deadlines and prioritize the different things you need to do as you have in a fixed budget, unless you get the trust and buy-in.
Yeah, I can take this one. It's a lot of it ties into a proper discovery process. We need to find out where the value is found and where the value is at, and then we will focus on those areas until we get a diminishing return on that focus, and we have to maximize the value from the time we spend. If there is only that time, there's only that time. But there's not uncommon that if you start delivering kick-ass stuff, they're just gonna be okay. So we see what we're getting. Oh my God, we want more. Stay another month, please. The value just keeps on rising. Deliver, deliver, deliver.
Hello, thank you for an amazing talk and amazing slide.
Thank you, Tommy.
I think you touched upon this, David, when you started talking about, yes, this is easy when you have a great team. But how do a team like this handle like curveballs when marketing, because this will happen. I mean, marketing come, they say, yes, we have a marketing campaign. We did screw up here, but we're gonna have to sell bundles by next week. Sorry.
Great question. Expecting that one to come up. There's like a several part answer to that. Henrik's going to take a part of it because, you know. But many times the curveballs are avoidable because we have integrity and we have set the boundaries on how we work. We can set expectations of the client. In our case, we just launched an app. Woohoo! We told marketing, you know what? They wanted to go. And we just told marketing, you know what, we'd like you to wait 1.5, 2 weeks. We want to do this a soft launch. We want to launch it to a few clients. We want to talk to them and see what they have to say so we can make sure that there are no chaos catastrophes. And they were like, okay, we trust you. If you say we have to wait 2 weeks, we have to wait 2 weeks. And then they did. And very seldom do these absolutes that we might take up as examples actually come up when the communication is good, when the trust is good, when you have a track record of delivering value and presenting visible and tangible results of your work. Do any more? Or time's up.
We are out of time, unfortunately. Out of time, but thank you. Another round of applause, David and Henrik.